Our next guest is Joanne Smith, who's the president of the Friends of the Batavia Library. Joanne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting us. We rarely pass up an opportunity to promote the Friends.
Okay, so tell us about the Friends. For people that might not know about the Friends, tell us about that.
Okay, well, I'll start with a little history.
Okay.
The present group is actually the third iteration of a Friends of the Library group in Batavia. The first one was started in 1946.
Oh my gosh.
We don't know how long it lasted, but we do know that the second one was started in 1975.
Okay.
And that, I think, lasted through probably the late 80s. And the current iteration started in 1991. So this is
a long history.
This is the third iteration. And basically, the Friends of the Library is a group that is in existence to promote and support the Batavia Public Library.
So what are some of the things that the Friends do for the library?
Okay, well, the Friends actually can be defined, I think, by our used book sale.
Okay.
And we have a used book sale every month except June. We take a little vacation in June. And it's the first Saturday of the month, except in July and August, when it's the second Saturday.
Okay.
And it's held in what's called the Friends Space, which is on the lower level of the library. And it's from 9:10 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And patrons can come in and shop our shelves and purchase books. Hardcover books are $1. Paperback books are 50 cents. Children's books tend to be anywhere between 25 cents and 50 cents. And all of our books are donated. So we have just a wonderfully generous community who continues to support us through their donations. I'll tell you an interesting story about donations, if you want. Back in late 2004, so we're going back a little bit.
Yes.
I was actually looking through a box of books, and we always kind of looked through them to look for first editions or signed copies, things that we thought we might be able to sell online for a little bit more money. And I found a book, Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand's very famous book. Opened it to the title page and saw first edition, first printing.
Ooh.
And I thought, whoa, dust jacket, perfect.
Wow.
And then I thought to myself, now somebody wrote in this book, doggone it. And I looked more carefully, and it said Ayn Rand.
Oh.
And I thought, well, now somebody wrote the author's name in this book.
Yes.
But then I kept looking at it again, and I thought, I wonder. So I went online, and I Googled Ayn Rand's signature. Turns out that it was a signed copy, first edition, first printing. We didn't know. So then I looked it up online to see its value, and it was coming in anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000. And I was thinking, whoa! So another board member at the time, Barbara Palmer, got us in touch with an auction house out in San Francisco. We sold that book at auction for $6,500.
Oh my goodness!
I know. So that was pretty exciting.
A lovely contribution to the library.
Right.
Absolutely.
So currently, though, our books, I'll just take you real quickly through like the life cycle of a donated book.
Please do.
So books come in, and the first thing I think everyone has to know is that the library staff actually has first dibs.
Only fair.
Absolutely fair. So they look through them, and they determine whether or not any of the books are of high enough quality and books that are needed for their actual library shelves. So let's see, I have some notes here. Last year, as a result of that, 565 books were placed on the shelves, and 231 AV items.
So those are things that the library didn't have to buy.
Or needed replacing.
Right, but the library didn't have to buy them.
Absolutely.
They were able to get them through donation.
Right.
And what they wanted.
Okay, right. Then after they look through and we get them, we scan them for, again, valuable books. Some of them are put online through Amazon. The rest of them are put on our shelves. They probably have a life cycle of about 3 sales on our shelves. And then we try to do other things with them. We have an agreement with a company called Better World Books, who will take many of the books that aren't selling for us. We don't get a whole lot from them, but we get some money from them. And then oftentimes we'll get requests for, we had a request from Art Van Furniture to buy a bunch of our books. They didn't care which ones, they just wanted to put them on some bookshelves in their display area, so we do that. And then we have a corner books, what we call the corner book sale.
I love that one. I love that one.
Everyone seems to love that. That's located right across from the circulation desk.
Yes.
And it's available whenever the library is open. So oftentimes the books will go up there. We'll, you know, we'll try again to. So I like to say we're very persistent with our donations. We try our best to sell them. We respect the donations that we get, and we try to do the best we can with them.
Well, for people that haven't been to the sale, I know that one of the comments that somebody has made at the sale was they really appreciated that the books are well organized. You get the books that you are interested in finding, and you're able to find them because they're very well categorized and sorted. So it's not like you're going through shelf after shelf of books that you don't have any interest in.
Right. We have volunteers who do that on a weekly basis. They go through boxes and boxes of books. They, first of all, scan them for valuable books, and then they sort them. And so all our nonfiction books are categorized, you know, by categories like history and literature and cookbooks. And our fiction is organized by alpha. Great.
If people want to volunteer, how do they go about volunteering for this?
Okay, a couple of ways. You can go online. You can go to our website, which is www.bataviapubliclibrary.org/friends.
Okay.
And we have our own little website there. And there is a PDF version that's downloadable of our application form if you want to join us, which we're always looking for new members. Or you can send us an email at friends@bataviapubliclibrary.org, and somebody will for sure get back to you and explain all the volunteer opportunities.
So it's a good way to support the community and meet some great people and get a look at a lot of those books at the book sale.
That's right.
Sounds wonderful. And now we'll take a brief time out to hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment, and thank you so much for telling us about the Friends. Thank you.
Okay.